When did we decide that it was time to leave the United States? I get this question a lot, and I wish that there was just one aha moment where I knew for sure it was time to go. Unfortunately, it was much more of a slow burn. However, there was a time frame that I think really tipped me over the edge, and I'm going to talk about that. When he won the election in 2024, I think we were in shock, and so we decided to give ourselves 6 months to see how it was going to go. Those 6 months felt bad. Not only did things not get less expensive, we also had an e-commerce business that was greatly affected by the tariffs that went into place. We both worked full time in addition to having this e-commerce business, and we still were feeling financially stretched. I think what became clear sometime in the spring, early summer, is how different the United States was going to be after his presidency. It wasn't going to be like, okay, well, if we can get through these 4 years, then it won't feel so bad anymore. There's just so much destruction that has happened, dismantling the Department of Education, the CDC, the EPA, ruining our national parks, or at least attempting to, healthcare, childcare. These are all things that are being torn down, not fixed. And so thinking about my kids' futures, it's going to be a very different United States for my kids' generation than it was for me growing up. I don't know how we would afford college for 3 kids in the United States, if I'm being fully honest. I was worried about gun violence every single day. And all of these little things, I think, something clicked in the early summer where I was like, oh, this is irreparable damage, or at least damage that's probably not going to be fixed in my lifetime. And that's ultimately what pushed us to do it. Just not feeling like there was a great future for our kids if we stayed in the United States.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. Give honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, teach 100% truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and to the elect. It's your brother Raya back with another video. And yeah, so we see that Babylon the Great cannot be healed, right? So this Jeremiah 51. We're going to start at verse 7. Matter of fact, we're going to start at verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So like y'all on the sound, my laptop is, I believe the fan in the laptop is either going out or something going on with it. Anyway, verse 8 says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies, right? So this has to do with what this lady was saying. She was saying that, and let me get towards the end. She felt like it was.
I don't know how we would afford college for 3 kids in the United States, if I'm being fully honest. I was worried about gun violence every single day. And all of these little things, I think, something clicked in the early summer where I was like, oh, this is irreparable damage, or at least damage that's probably not going to be fixed in my lifetime.
Right. So if Babylon could be healed, they would have healed it, but it can't be healed, right? Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So all of the shit that's going on here in Babylon the Great, it's to take this place on out. And then, you know, she said that she moved her family, well, her family and her moved on out of the country due to DJT getting into office. But she tried to give it 6 months to see at least if things will get better or the economy and all. She was like, "No, it got worse." And she run a e-commerce company or something like that, and that shit was starting to fail. So she and her family decided that they wanted to get on up out of here. But that's what the scriptures say, though. Say everybody's going to flee back to the, you know, to their own country, or going to flee back to, you know, flee to other countries. And the Heavenly Father, He's going to destroy this place by way of ICBM missiles, and He's going to use, you know, Russia to do so, and Russia and China and some of the Ishmaelites and the kings of the East, really, the so-called Arabs. 11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which is Russia, for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to get for this video, y'all. With that, I'm gonna give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakadash. Shalom, y'all. On to the next one.